This is where you want to look straight ahead, because obviously that's how you walk around. Like, there's no point doing it like this if it looks great in that angle, because you don't walk around like this. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is all about educational beauty. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can get a lifted effect on the eyes with makeup. It's a really easy trick, and I think you're going to love it because you don't even need to wear any eye makeup with it. So before we jump into the video, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And don't forget, you can also catch me over on Instagram. Now let's head straight into the video. So this is a great way to get that nice lifted eye look using some concealers, and I'm going to show you now. It's also great if you don't want to look like you're actually wearing eye makeup, and to be honest, we're not going to be wearing any eye makeup. I don't have any eye makeup on. I actually have no concealer on my upper lid, so I'm going to start from scratch there so that you can really see how you can give that nice lifted look. So I'm going to start off with using my concealer, which I put all over my lids, and I usually start this right before all of my other makeup, but everything else is done, and you can see it's kind of like a little bit darker on my lids because my skin around that area is generally a bit darker. So I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer this is medium. I'm just going to apply a little bit on my eyelids there. Now I'm just getting my beauty blender and I'm going to just buff this in. My beauty blender is damp, and what that means is I have wet it, squeezed all the water out, and then wrapped a tissue around it and squeezed it again. So can you see I've just literally just pressed this very lightly into my upper lid. So now there's a really nice clean finish there. It's kind of like nice and bright because my concealer is a little lighter than my skin tone because I like it that way. But to be fair, I also do use a bronzer at the end just to warm up my entire face, or just the areas that I like it to be kind of warmed up. Okay, I take this right up to my brow. I mean, I would sometimes do my brows after, but they're already done. So we're gonna leave it like that. So my concealer is on both eyelids, and you can see it's really nice and bright there now. Now what I'm gonna do is move over to a darker concealer. Now I'm using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and some of you ask me, how do I pick my darker shade concealer as my contour? Because you guys, if you've watched previous videos of mine, if you've been a subscriber for quite a while, then you know that I use my concealers as my contour products because I don't like contour creams. The way that I choose the color, like the way that I would say for you guys to pick your color as your dark concealer shade as your contour, then go I wouldn't say go a few shades darker. It's really difficult to explain because with some brands you could go a few shades darker, and that's because they only have a small range of concealers, like a small variety of shades. Whereas if you have some brands which have, like, say, I don't know, like 40 shades of concealer, that means there's less of a difference between color 1 and color 4, if you see what I mean. So it's really difficult to tell you how many shades darker you should go, plus it really does depend on the undertone too. So I always like to pick a really nice kind of like warm undertone, and I pick my undertone first, so I make sure that it's a nice warm color, it's not overly cool for me. Then what I do is I make sure that it's significantly darker. So this is very dark, it's like a nice chocolatey brown, so it's definitely not the color of my skin. You've got to go for a color which is visible. So if you go for something which is just a few shades darker than your skin tone and there's a big variety of colors within that range of concealers, then it's not really going to show. You need something which is dark enough to really be quite obvious, because obviously we're going to start, you blend it in when you're using it as a contour. So that's the best piece of advice I could give you when it comes to picking your color. Again, really just depends on your skin tone too. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dark shade, I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand so you can see I've got just a little bit there. You only need a small amount. Now I'm going to use my Kevyn Aucoin concealer brush, and the reason I'm using that is because on one side you've got this flat kind of the actual concealer brush. On the other side, you've got this really nice kind of like dome fluff brush, which is great for kind of blending concealer. So I'm going to use that to actually apply this concealer on my eye. Now this is going to give you that really nice lifted look. You can see we're starting to crease there. That's because we haven't applied any powder yet. And we're going to apply that at the end so that it locks everything in. What I want to do is just go into this concealer on the back of my hand with that fluff brush, and I'm just like really kind of packing on the color, but I'm not putting a lot, like I'm not doing it enough where it's going to leave a huge kind of splodge. I was gonna say splodge of color. I don't even know if that's a word. Like a huge kind of blob of color there, you know. I just want it to very nicely blend in as I'm applying it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go kind of like into my crease here. And because obviously we're working with creams, you want to be a bit kind of light-handed. You don't want to be too heavy, as in don't press too hard and don't go too fast. And we're basically going to be contouring the eye area, and this is going to give you that really nice lifted look. So what we're doing is adding a bit of definition here. You don't have to add the definition here, by the way. You can just skip to the end part that I'm going to do. I really want to kind of show you how you can use it to its full potential. So this is going to give us a really nice, you can already see that's kind of like shaded in that area there and given us that really nice depth compared to the other side. Kind of like flat there, and then we've got that really nice kind of slight lift on the crease area there. And the great thing about this is it's so easy to blend because it's a cream, so it's just much easier to blend. I'm going into a bit more color. Now this is where you want to look straight ahead, because obviously that's how you walk around. Like there's no point doing it like this if it looks great in that angle, because you don't walk around like this. So you want to look straight ahead. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of lift this area here. You see we're lifting it just at the end here. It's very lightly kind of like fading out. There you go. You can see that kind of like just almost like flicking upwards, like where you would kind of like take your liner, right? You can really see the difference here. You can see that this has got a lot more depth here. You can see how it's like kind of lifting out here. The more you do it, the quicker you're going to get. And I love this because you don't have to wear any eye makeup with it. Once you're done, it gives you really nice depth and lift around the eye area. Now we're going to go in with another concealer, just a small amount. This is actually a little bit lighter than that Tarte Shape Tape that I used. I'm going to apply this in another area just to also help give that lift. So I'm going to use the other side of that brush now, so the flat side of that Kevyn Aucoin blush. I'm going into this, again, it's a Radiant Creamy Concealer, but a different shade, lighter. And I'm going to apply this just around this area here. So can you see, I drew that line there, did a straight line. I mean, you can see that lift is insane there. So I went from right from that corner, the corner of my lash line, and then I went upwards. You don't want to go too up because then it's a bit extreme, right? So you want to kind of like figure out the angle of the line that you're doing. So I know that's about the kind of lift that I want. I know it's not kind of meeting the end of my brow, but I also know it's not too low and it's enough, it's high enough. The angle it's the right angle for me to be able to get lift, but at the same time, it's not, you know, it's not OTT and it's not straight, you know, it's actually doing something. So I kind of like drew that line there, and then what I'm doing is I'm dragging that color. So I'm like just kind of grabbing the color there from that line, and I'm just dragging it down. You don't need to worry about like too much blending on this part. You just literally, and if you put the smallest amount, there's not too much color that should actually, there's not too much product that should be there. It should just be enough to kind of make a difference, but not too much product build up. Now I know that that is good for me, but equally I don't like a harsh line, so I want to soften that up. So this is where I'm going to go back in with that fluff brush. I'm taking whatever's off of that brush. There's nothing on here now, and this is where I'm just going to kind of go over, I'm just going to go over that line to just soften it up a bit. See, we've got rid of that harsh line there now. Make sure it's the same angle as the other side. Now we're going to just drag that product, flip the brush over, nothing on this brush, just go over that line. Now that we've done that, I'm going to get my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder. You can use any kind of setting powder. I'm going to get my Laura Mercier powder puff, put the powder on my powder puff, so it's right on the tip of the sponge there. Now before I put this powder on, I'm just going to quickly go in with that fluff brush, nothing on there, and just make sure that there are no creases, because we don't want to be setting any creases. We want to actually set a nice smooth base. So I'm just picking up any excess product that might have started sitting in any lines. Okay, just pressing that powder on top, and that's going to keep everything there. You can go on the sides of the eyes as well if you want. I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques brush, nothing on this brush, and I'm just going to dust everything off. and you can see what a difference that makes. Like, you can really see that kind of like lift there. You can see how that lighter shade there really helps to kind of like give that extra support to lift that dark shade there. So this is a great way to give yourself that really nice lift along the eye area, but make it look like you're not actually wearing any eye makeup. Let's go for a nice kind of everyday mascara. I'm going to use the Rare Beauty mascara. I'm just going to kind of like drag this through my lashes, because I really want you to see with mascara, I'm not going to put any lashes on because I don't want that to kind of like cover up anything we've done, and it kind of adds a whole eye look with lashes anyway. So I just want you to see what it looks like when you've got just mascara on. Wow, this is a good mascara. This always happens to me. I use mascara after ages and I'm like, what, this is really good. So we've put our mascara on. Considering we don't have any eye makeup on and I don't have any kind of lashes or, you know, anything else going on with my eyes, I feel like this is a really good technique to give you that nice lifted look. So I really do hope you guys try this, and if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments box below, because I always answer. Yeah, if you do try this, I really want to know how it worked for you, and I feel like it's a really easy technique. It definitely doesn't take that long, and obviously, you know, I've slowed it down a little bit and I'm talking through it, so it's much quicker, especially when you get used to it. But I feel like you might as well do this while you're putting your concealer and foundation and everything on at the same time. You don't have to wait till right at the end. You can actually do it while you're doing the rest of your face, and I feel like then you're done. Just a bit of mascara and you've got that nice lifted look. Sometimes, you know, when you, well, I know with me, someone who kind of wears makeup all the time because of my job, sometimes on the days where maybe I just, you know, want a really kind of low-key look, or I just haven't got the time and I just put my base on, this is what I like to do, because I feel like it just kind of finishes it off for me and it doesn't look so flat, you know, on me anyway. So I feel like it just adds a bit of depth there, gives me that really nice lifted look. And yeah, so there you go. So there you go. I hope you guys try this out too, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments box below. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.